Hello and welcome into the Form as we preview the best races around the country upcoming this weekend. We'll be joined by Lethan is here in the studio, also Bevan Sweeney out of Petone and Aidan Rodley to help us through all the domestic racing action, and there's a lot of it coming up this weekend too. This is what you can expect coming up here on the Form today. First of all, we'll have a look at the Harcourt's Thorndon Mile, our feature preview race trackers. Riccarton features, two to look at from there. Also the Trentham features, a number of those features outside of the Group 1 Thorndon Mile. And we'll catch up with the Whale, yes, our large aquatic friend, harness racing with the Whale, and then our best bets.
Standing on the start line for everyone to see, thinking it's about time to show what I believe. I'll find a way to win the race. Forget about the start.
Feature race preview, the Harcourt's Thorndon Mile, and we'll get to you, Bevan Sweeney, because we need to find out just how conditions are going to be for Saturday.
Yeah, morning boys. In the lower North Island, especially in Wellington, the weather has been very settled over the last 5 or 6 days. I think that's forced Jamie Phillips to put a little bit of water on this track to ensure it doesn't get too firm. It's at the soft 6 stage. There is rain forecast later this afternoon, Friday, and a little bit Saturday morning. So just ensuring there's enough moisture in this track that the track didn't get too firm, and then we had rain late in the week to put it in maybe a dicey position. So moisture in the track. There's a little bit forecast, but not a lot. I think overall with the rollback in the true position, we should be running on a decent track Saturday. All
right, let's have a look at a market for race number 7, the Harcourt's Thorndon Mile. And no surprise here that CRIQUE has come up the favourite at $2. She's a Group 1 winning mare over this distance. Fresh up, she's had a trial to get herself ready for this. You've got Sharp and Smart at $4.20, the other Class 3-year-old, a Class 3-year-old in the race, and COVENTINA Bay at $4.50. Leith, will come to you. How do you see things panning out from the gates?
Yeah, I probably thought Clever Ruds was going to be the natural leader from barrier 6. Sergio's one of those big, long striding horses. He takes a couple hundred metres to get into gear, so it's going to be interesting if CRIQUE sits outside the leader or takes a sit.
All right, let's look at things in terms of how it might pan out at the beginning of the race. We want to touch on, first of all, CRIQUE, and Bevan will come to you around CRIQUE because she looks to be in readiness for this particular race with how she's trialled up, and as I said, she is a Group 1 winner over this distance.
Well, she's the form mare and older horse in the race. Of course, Sharp and Smart comes into it with what he did in Australia. He's fresh at a mile, she's fresh at a mile. They've obviously had quite a bit of work behind the scenes, and look, they've looked as though they're both coming up very, very well. Look, the draw's a little bit of niggle. If Lee's on the money there with her coming across and getting outside the lead, then she is in the dominant position, and the $2 will probably look quite good value if after 150 metres she's sitting in that position. If they work up inside her and try and post her 3 wide, then that becomes a different kettle of fish. I think Sharp and Smart's drawn to advantage, but gee, boys, she looks as though she's bursting through the bridle on this track gallop.
Yeah, she does. She's just one of those mares that she knows where the winning post and she just attacks it. She loves being a racehorse, and her condition she's actually strengthened up since last 3 months ago.
Yeah, Aidan, we'll come to you around Sharp and Smart now, and probably even a quick comment around CRIQUE, because I know you've seen a fair bit of CRIQUE, but we'll come to you around Sharp and Smart because I know you've seen this horse throughout the week. Yeah, your thoughts on his preparation to date?
He looks fantastic. The first time we've seen him since the spring earlier on this week, other than this gallop, which was on at Tarapa, and obviously very good this day, had the better of the stablemate. And the same with the Tuesday gallop. He just seems to be a much bigger, stronger, more confident horse at the moment. And boy, he's going well. We know the quality. Gloaming, Spring Champion, Victoria Derby, they were all first-class performances. He comes into a Thorndon Mile fresh up, maybe a touch vulnerable, but man, did you see them going this well in track gallops?
Yeah, Aidan, you've seen both of these horses, as I said, with where they're at for Saturday's race. What have you seen from both the horses, and can you sort of compare where one's at compared to the other?
Both of them seem like they're really enthusiastic workers. CRIQUE's been really flying on the track. Her work on Tuesday morning. Craig Grylls was reaching for the handbrake but couldn't find it. She was fair flying, and she's been like that the whole way through. She's had a long, slow build-up. They'll go from here into the Otaki Wait for Age race. But Sharp and Smart, there's just something about them. He's really growing up. He's got that real bit of arrogance about him as he struts around the stables at Rogerson's as well. So both of them have progressed well. Both of them have trips away, and they are two of our elite racehorses at the moment.
You want to bring Lee Finnis in here about Sharp and Smart, because this wasn't the race they originally were looking at. They were looking at the Wellington Guineas. How much of an issue is that for you, or where do you sort of sit with Sharp and Smart?
Look, we all know he had a little a foot issue. Obviously, he's over that now. His work's been first class. And we all know he's a gelding, but he's come back big and strong. He looks like a colt, you know, like he's a beautiful looking horse.
Well, another key danger in the race is a multiple Group 1 winner, and that, of course, is COVENTINA Bay. And this is the runner when finishing into second position in the Manawatu Challenge Stakes. And Bevan, I want to bring you in here around here because this was her run 2 start to go behind Darcy Labella. What have you made of her run in the Telegraph, though? I know it's a distance short of the best, over 1,200 metres, but do you believe she should have maybe beaten some of those horses in front of her?
Not really, BP. I'm 107 and change. She's not, in my opinion, really going to get into a sprint like that. I thought it was a prep run for the mile. I think Robbie made that quite clear on the day as well. I think her draws a niggle. I think we saw on Clark a Million night, if you're standing good horses 3 or 4 lengths, no matter how good you are, and we look at some very good horses beaten on Clark a Million night, you just can't pick them up. And on the mat, from that draw, she's going to be back inside and having to pick up 3 or 4 lengths on Sharp and Smart and CRIQUE. That makes it very, very difficult. There's no doubt her quality, but if you're going to stand a couple of very good horses a decent sort of start, I think it's very, very difficult to beat those 2 in particular.
Right, well, Aidan Rodley has been out and about throughout the week, and he caught up with Katrina Alexander and Graham Rogerson.
Yeah, I'm really happy with her actually. She's just come through really nicely this stage. Yeah, I think we're right on track for where we want to be for Saturday. Yep,
we've seen all the build-ups with the exhibition gallops and the trials, and obviously the track work this morning. She seems to be flying. Yeah, pretty top-notch all of that. She ran some good sectionals at counties for the exhibition gallop all by herself, and then her trial was nice and solid. Today was just a bit of just nice work for her, and that should set her up nicely.
He never used to want to run away from another horse or go past it, and he's just got better and better, and he's been to Australia twice, don't forget. Yeah. First time he didn't know anything, and then he just on ability, and same when he was in Sydney, he didn't know what he was doing, but I think hopefully we'll see a different horse in the autumn. You know, we've certainly got a big target. I mean, we're using this race to get him ready to run over ground, but it is a Group 1 mile, and it'll be interesting, but I think he's got a lot of class, and it'll take him a long way.
Yeah, exciting race in front of us. It's selections time now from the boys, and Bevan, we'll come to you first of all. I know it's a race that's very special to your heart because whenever we mention Thorndon Mile, and I think of you, I think of Surface, I think of Noel Eels, I think of Noel Harris when he came back with that funky hairstyle. What are you liking for this year's edition?
Yeah, my favourite race, without doubt, across the racing program, and one that I'd desperately love to win if I could ever find one good enough to go in it. Look, I've tossed and turned a little bit about this. If CRIQUE gets across, I think that Sharp and Smart finds a really good position on her tail. Now, just watching that track work of Sharp and Smart, I know he's probably not up against a horse in that track gallop that can be comparable to him, but gee, looks big, strong, and a beast going forward. So I'm just going to take his price. I think he smokes on the tail somewhere around CRIQUE's hindquarters. It'll be a massive battle down the home straight. Expect you to quicken. He might get off the bridle, but he'll be coming late in this particular race. So, look, I'm going to go with the young horse to beat the very smart CRIQUE.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a match race. Sharp and Smart, he's a very, very high-class galloper, and I just think Craig, if his Barry 10's probably going to help him. I think Craig's going to land just outside the leader, and you know, both of these horses are suited to a big roomy track as well. So I'm just going to have CRIQUE just on top.
3 cracking horses in this race, isn't it? And I'm going to go against COVENTINA Bay, which I don't feel comfortable about doing. And then you've got to choose between 2 of my favourites. Sharp and Smart is up there with my very favourite horses. But I think this is CRIQUE's race, boys. She's just in super form, and she's just got something about her. So CRIQUE for me, narrowly in the Thorndon Mile.
Group 1 racing out of the Champagne Turf. It'll be the Harcourt's Thorndon Mile. Race number 7 set down to start at 6 minutes to 4. racetracker time now, and we'll get to you, Lee Thinnis. What have you found for us over the week?
Yeah, well, I think he sort of found himself a little bit. He was desperately unlucky, no fault of Sam. It was just one of those races where the leader didn't kick and Pierre just never got out the whole race up the straight. And, you know, I think if a clear run, he probably would have won. But it was a good to see him race that way round first start, right-handed, and hit the line as good as he did. So I talked to Darren Weatherly, and he's going to race in Sydney, Warwick Farm on the 19th of February, the Hobartville Stakes Group 3 over 1,400 metres. Aegon won the same race a couple of years ago.
I'm going to take you back to the last time I was on track, and that was the first day of the Wellington Cup Carnival, and it was called Missy Moolah for the Sullivan and Scott team. Look at the horse up the inside. Now, there was some massive performances here. Duncan Creek out wide was fantastic. Cognito is just to the outside of Missy Moolah, and they sprint beautifully. Missy Moolah was back last before the corner and flies the inside. I think you could probably have a little bit on in the Oaks. I think she is a horse with a lot of ability.
He's got some nice fillies heading towards that Oaks too, don't we? I'm going to take you to the trials at Riccarton, and this on the synthetic track. This is a horse who's done this before, Delphilius, but has yet to bring it race day. I think now maybe with a little bit of age, this horse had been impressive in earlier trials as well, but this is just hollow from a horse who undoubtedly has speeds in the right stable with Lance Robinson to get the best out of him going forward. I think we're going to see an improved race day showing of this horse's preparation, and I think he's won. Just to paste in that black book and be on first up, BP.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to go back to the same race as Lee Thinnis, the Al Mansour Trophy. If Channel Surfer is the best maiden in the country, this one might be the second best. Sir Sterling, this run was through the roof in an Al Mansour Trophy at just start number 2. Has run the fastest last 200 of the race. Is very good in behind horses. Find another maiden as that race, or just a flat-out maiden race, and we'll be wanting to be on Sir Sterling out of the Lauren Bredon stable. Let's have a look at what the team are liking. Jot them down, put them in your black book, or pop it in your favourites on tab.co.nz. Pierre, Missy Moolah, Delphilius and Sir Sterling for the team. Time to look at the Riccarton features now with Aidan Rodley. And Aidan, before we do that, how are conditions faring for the weekend?
Yeah, really good actually. We've got currently a soft track, but it's the first time we've raced at Riccarton since we had all those issues through Cup Week. So great to see Riccarton back racing again as well. Obviously the preparation looks good. We've seen a couple of photos on Twitter through Tim Mills, and the track looking in very good order. And we know a really good Riccarton races as well as any track in the country.
Well, they've got some nice races to look forward to, and the first of them we'll go to is race number 8. This is the Spates Timaru Stakes, and we've got ourselves a very even field here with horses like Time's Ticking in the race, Perfect Scenario for Mark Walker, Joe Cameron taking the ride on that horse at $4.20, Rock Sensation, and Avaquinella at $4.80. Your early thoughts on the market first of all, Aidan?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? I think, you know, we take a lot of the line through Copeland's Bokeries Mile back in November, where we see 4 horses come out of that race, including Feeling the Power, who ran third that day, currently at $10, and better than every other horse in the race from that day at the weights, and that includes the likes of, you know, Time's Ticking, Perfect Scenario, and Kaimar War as well. So maybe there's a touch of value there, although he's only been playing in this last couple. Avaquinella's been racing well. I thought the best value in the race was Rock Sensation.
Well, let's go to the top of the book first of all and talk about the highest rated horse in the race, and that's Time's Ticking. Look, we know how good he is, Aidan. He's had a trial to get himself ready for this. This is him finishing second at the Foxton Trials.
Yeah, absolutely, and the beauty about Albie McGregor heading down there, he's got Dean doing a lot of work around Riccarton these days as well, training himself. Time's Ticking, obviously a winner of the Group 3 Spring Sprint a couple of starts back at Hastings under Opie Bosson, then failed in the Copeland's Bakeries Mile under a big weight. He's got another big weight this weekend at 1,400 metres, but he's a really good horse. That trial was encouraging, and he is a contender in this race for sure.
The other horse we need to talk about here is Perfect Scenario, who is the favourite at $4.20. Let's take you back to this horse. Went fourth at the recent trials around Tauranga. This was in behind La Creek.
Yeah, absolutely. A really nice trial. He's preparing well. He loves South Island racing, doesn't he? He seems to just thrive when he's down there. He was a winner at Riccarton on Spring Classic Day on the 22nd of October before running 5th in the Copeland's Bakeries Mile. And he just seems to just love getting on the road and then heading to Riccarton. He's obviously been there before and won. You've got Joe Cameron doing the riding for the Inform Mark Walker stable. So just a lot of respect around what he's capable of and what he's done in that trial as well.
One of the feature races over the Christmas period was the Timaru Cup, and that's a form reference. That is a good one, isn't it, Aiden? Because of the horse who wins this race in Humbucker, what he's been able to go on and do post this race. This is FFWIN running into 4th position.
Yeah, Humbucker's since come out and looked really good. Obviously won the Gore Cup last weekend as well. He was in contention for a Thorndon Mile this weekend as well, but they've opted to stay south and head to a Group 3 White Robe Lodge. But you look at the run from FFWIN there in the Gold Cap out wider. She's just been a really progressive mare. Lance Robinson's done a good job with the Kavish. Chowdhury knows her really well. She was a winner a couple of starts back, and that run for 4th fairly encouraging as well. But I think the key reference here is the race where we saw Jewel of Patch last time out winning. Now, we've got a whole heap of horses coming out of that race, so it is the right reference. Rock Sensation came from last and swept down the outside with a massive run. Around the quickest last 800, 600, 400, 200 of that race, drops 4 kilograms out of that to be meeting all the rivals other than OK Powell, who drops 4.5 kilograms better off. But then he was well clear of OK Powell last time out as well. He hasn't been able to get the job done in recent starts, but he's been knocking on the door, and on that last start run, I think he looks really, really well placed in this Timaru Stakes. I thought he was a special for the weekend.
All right, let's move on to the second feature. It's in race number 5, and it is the Marlborough Cup over 2,000 metres. Favouritism in this race is with Second Thought. She comes in with very good form. She is a recent trial winner. She is at $2.50. Let's Bring It On, $3.30. A last start winner of the Wakawaiti Cup. And then you've got Wannabe in Paris, who was a narrow defeat last week, of course, in the Gore Cup, is currently at a $9 quote. First horse we're going to look at here, Aiden, is Let's Bring It On, and a horse who was winning the Wakawaiti Cup last time out at Wingatui.
Absolutely. If you're looking for a Wellington Cup reference as well, look at the horse directly on its inside. That's As a Thought, who was desperately unlucky in this Wakawaiti Cup. But Let's Bring It On hits the line beautifully. A horse who's won 7 races now. Looks to be a decent horse. Just look at As a Thought getting to the line nicely as a very good Wellington Cup trial. But that says something about Let's Bring It On as well, because Lisa Vaughan prepared to take the 3rd place getter up to have a crack at a group race at Trentham. So that says Let's Bring It On's form's okay. Just against that BP is just that heavy top weight, which not ideal for this horse.
Well, let's have a look at Wannabe in Paris. It was a very narrow defeat, wasn't it? It was not much between Wannabe in Paris and Humbucker in the Gore Cup. Also a chance to be able to label a couple of others that were out of this race. But Wannabe in Paris, who finishes second here, Aiden?
Yeah, I'm a big fan to Take the Deal, who finishes further back as well, and the Growlers run well. But this is the sign of a horse who's in really good form. Wannabe in Paris really did make Humbucker work, because Humbucker had made a long sweeping run from the 1,000-metre mark and then was obviously a little bit vulnerable at the end, but boy, didn't Wannabe in Paris fight from the inside. There's a little bit more speed in this race, which may be against Wannabe in Paris, but there was such an improved run from a horse who's now in form. I just thought looked beautifully placed here, and at $9 I thought looked to be the real value play in the Marlborough Cup.
Second Thought comes in as the favourite, form through Cup Week for this runner, and this is a horse who finished in first position a couple of starts ago. This is around illicit miss. We can understand why she is the favoured runner with a recent trial on the synthetic. Your thoughts around her?
Yeah, the trial was good. The form's outstanding. Obviously, the problem here is we've got a horse running fresh up at 2,000 metres against horses who are hard fit, such as Wannabe in Paris and Let's Bring It On and company. But the record's outstanding. 3 from 3 at 2,000 metres. The fresh up record, 3 starts for a win and a placing as well. I wouldn't be ruling out the Moore pair here as well. Bluey's Chance, who'd run second in a Kamara Gold Nuggets and was second in the Wellington Cup and behind Wasaki in 2021 on this day. And Amazon Goddess actually ran second in a rating 75 race at Trentham this day last year as well. But if you have to look at one, and at a really nice price, I thought the $9 around Wannabe in Paris was the play in the Marlborough Cup.
All right, that's a look at a couple of the features on the weekend out of Riccarton. Of course, we'll have Riccarton and also Trentham to look forward to on Saturday, and you can catch all the previews pre-race day on Saturday at 11 a.m. on the Punters Lounge. Time now to look at the NZCIS Wellington Cup race number 9 over 3,200 metres. To help us preview the race, we've got Lee Thinnis, Aidan Rodley and Bevan Sweeney. And first of all, let's take in a market for the Wellington Cup. And a lot of moving parts over the last few weeks, but it's all been around Alan Sharrock horses. Ladies Man, the favourite though, who's been the futures favourite for the last few weeks, is now $2.50. Wasaki, a previous winner of the race, seems to be building, is at $5. Dionysus for James and Wellwood is currently in the market also. Lee Thinnis, will come to you first of all. Around one of the favourite runners, and it is Dionysus, a horse who was able to win the Queen Elizabeth II Cup on New Year's Day.
Yeah, the riding was on the wall of a start before. He's been going really good, honest races, and I know it's a race that Roger and Robert have targeted for the Dixons. You know, they're from Wellington, they've been on the committee there. And look, he looks like he's going to be really hard to beat. You think he would get the 2 mile. I'm just a little bit concerned about the weight, the conditions of the race. Look, his top weight of 57 kilos off a rating of 88. And obviously Alan Sharrock's got Ladies Man in there on a rating of 87, and he's got 53. So yeah, the 4 kilos could be a big negative.
Certainly will. My impressions of that race is that they went hard early, so the end of the race from Dionysus was fantastic over the 2,400 metres. And I'm with you, Leith. I really hope the Dixons can get a result, because they're a wonderful family, and Ronnie is one of the most genuine blokes you'll ever meet. Overall time was strong, got through the line soft late. I think he'll run the 3,200 metres. Weight's an issue, but I think he'll be there. He'll be right in the mix late. He's a really nice staying horse.
Geez, he was soft on the line in that QE2 Cup, wasn't he? And I just like what he'd been doing, and like what the preparation's all been about. It's been about getting him to these distances. It's been beautifully handled by Roger James and Robert Wellwood, informed jockey Warren Kennedy on, and just like what he's done. I think the distance he leaded up, I thought he was the horse to beat.
Well, let's have a look at the favourite now, and that is Ladies Man. And very good performance, and probably the best form line you can get, Leith, is this race, and that being the Trentham Stakes, because you've got Ladies Man, the winner, you've got Wasaki running well. I thought Henipata was really good when finishing into 5th position in My Shadow, Tom's, and also Charm Star. But first of all, your impressions of what Ladies Man was able to do? Yeah,
he's yet to run over the 2 miles, but he's by shocking. He's going to relax somewhere midfield. He's got a beautiful big stride on him. And obviously Alan Sharrock set him for this race a long way out, and I think he's just a gift at $2.50. You know, he's 53 kilos. I just can't see how he can get beat.
I can see it getting beat, but it deserves to be favourite. Right weight, right trainer. Look, it was a tough week leading into that last start performance. I understand behind the scenes, and this horse still got it done. So you respect the Alan Sharrock factor. The horse is going very well and deserves to be at its price after that last start performance. But look, there were some runs in behind, and I include In My Shadow in that, because I thought that was a real preparation run from Ashley Meadows, who's very good, and it did run second in the New Zealand Cup. But I'm going to go with Wasaki. I think this horse is going to peak Saturday. He's a fantastic looking animal. I know he's against the stablemate, who's been spooked for a long period of time, but he's proven at 2 miles. That was a great cup trial for a horse that's proven to get further over the 3,200 metres. I think he's flying. Going to have someone on Henipara just in case. Thomas was good, and Charm Star not so convinced now. But look, I think Wasaki for mine. I'll go against Ladies Man, but certainly Ladies Man is flying.
Another thing about Wasaki, he's just such a course specialist, isn't he? He's been to Trentham on 9 occasions and won 5 of them, including once over the 3,200 metres, had his only start at that distance as well. But he's got 2.5 kilograms a swing against Ladies Man, and that really does favour Ladies Man. Also, Henipara gets in 2.5 kilograms better at the weights as well. So on that form, it's probably Ladies Man. Boy, this race, for mine, shapes as a real battle between 2 stables. So it's Kingsclear against Sharrock.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at a runner that's bouncing out of a lower graded race, and one from the James and Wellwood stable in Pinion. and also South Road, because South Road was one of those horses that, look, can be possibly spec'd at a bit of a price. We know, excuse me, Alan has spoken highly about this horse's chances for a Wellington Cup. But to you, Leith, around Pinion?
Yeah, I can understand why you're choking. You're watching Kenny Rock again. But Pinion's been really good. He looks like he's, he hasn't run over 2 miles yet, but he's trained by Robert and Roger, and they're a master getting these horses to get a trip.
I think in previous years, that performance leading into the Wellington Cup with the Cup fields we've had over the last 2 or 3 years would have put this horse right up in the leading lights. I just think it's a different kettle of fish this year with Ladies Man, with Wasaki, with Dionysus coming into the race, and some really good trials in behind those horses in the Trentham Stakes. So, look, a really nice horse going forward. Pinion, do I see it winning the race? No, but you'd want to own it, and a live chance, I suspect, a little bit of each way in the Cup.
Yep, sound, all those arguments very sound, Bevan, but the thing in Pinion's favour that says you've just got to go and back the horse is $31. How can this horse be at $31? That is ridiculous money. It seems to be the best overs in the race. Oh, geez, I've got to have had a bet at that and already have at $31. You've got to be in.
Ooh, there we go. Maybe a top 4 bet as well, Aidan, if you just want a little saver just in case also. All right, well, we better touch on another runner in a race last weekend, in fact, and of course that was in the Karaka Cup, and that being Contemplation. Look, very good second here, Leith, was a horse who had no luck in the Dunstan final, so it's on the back up from last Saturday. What sort of chance you giving this runner?
Yeah, it was a really good run last Saturday, and look, he's another horse who's yet to run over the 2 miles. There doesn't look a lot of speed in the race, but I can see him landing, in the first sort of 5, and yeah, I think he's a good sort of each way chance.
Top 4 chance for mine. I thought this was a really good effort. Z4's found a bit of form on this particular occasion. They ran decent sort of time over the 2200 metres. He looks as though he stretches out. Whether he'll get 2 miles, well, that's just completely up in the air, but live chance, top 4.
Doesn't it say something about the Kingsclear team with those 3 horses, Dionysus, Pinion and Contemplation, up against the 3 of Sharrock's? We've got Waisaki, Ladies Man and South Road as well. So, there's 6 horses between 2 stables that give them a really strong hand in this year's Cup.
Right, selections time now, Leith. I think we know what you're liking because you said the 250 was a gift around Ladies Man.
Well, I just feel it is. I think Alan's definitely targeted this race. He's got in there with 53 kilos, and I just, I think he could be winning this race quite easily.
Yeah, it's a really interesting dynamic for mine. Ladies Man, spoken in high regard by Alan for a long period of time. Just shown a few chinks in the armour through this preparation, but Alan's just trained it to the minute. But look, I'm going to go with the old stablemate in Wasaki, who's proven over the 2 miles. I thought he was fantastic in a Cup trial in the Trentham Stakes. I think he'll go forward. He's a stunning looking animal. If he settles back last, he'll be booming at them. I like his price, Wasaki, but I think it'll be one of the 2 Alan Sharrock runners.
Yeah, I'd love to see Waisaki come back and emulate what he did 2 years ago. But I've gone to the top of the book, gone with Dionysus, a horse who I thought was just fantastic at Te Rapa last time out, and is still building. The gallop at Pukekohe last Monday was excellent, and he just seems to be in peak form. 3,200 metres with, it is a top weight, but it's a 57 kilogram top weight. There's only a 4 kilogram spread on this field, so nothing that he can't overcome.
Okay, we'll continue on with our preview and we'll jump to race number 6 now. This is the Group 3 New Zealand Bloodstock Desert Gold Stakes. The favourite for the Thorndon Mile this year smashed them in this race last year, of course, and that being CRIQUE. We have Bestseller, who is at $3.60. Rockababy $3.80, This is Dramatic at $8.50, Mezzolino at $6 off the back of that very good win when beating home This is Dramatic. Then you've got horses like Academy Award, even beyond Violet. Nancy, she wrote, a horse who was at $16. It was very impressive to the eye when winning out of Hawke's Bay. Leith, first of all, we'll get to you with your thoughts around this particular race and sort of how do you see things for this race? Yeah,
look, Mezzolino was really good last start. She probably looks like she's going to land maybe in front or thereabouts. Look, Bestseller was... I thought she was a tad disappointing last start. Obviously, they had this race as a major goal, but she's had every chance to come out and beat Rockababy, and she didn't.
Agree. I thought she was just a little bit fair on this occasion, Bestseller, but Rockababy wasn't. Really burst to them, and look, she's Already a black type winner, Rocket Baby. I think she's got to be a question mark when we step out to the 1600 metres on Saturday. Basically second up. Fresh Up, she was brilliant. She was similar Fresh Up early on in her 3-year-old campaign. But look, you'd have to say on that particular vision, I know Bestseller will improve out of the John Barry stable, and Bestseller was close up behind Legato, or close up in a different sort of way down at Riccarton. But Bestseller's probably got the better mile trip, but I'm going to stick with the Seedy horse over Bestseller. Rocket Baby, I think she went brilliantly. She's won 3 of her last 4.
Well, selection time now for the Desert Gold Stakes and Festival. To you, Leith.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Lisa Ladder train runner. This is Dramatic. I've won the race a couple of times for Lisa, and she seems to have her horses, especially these 3 off fillies, peaking for this race.
I might go a little bit outside the square. I think Penny Weaker, a decent sort of horse, Rocket Baby for the city, but I'm not against Academy Award being close up in this particular race on the back of the effort behind Cognito at Trentham with that experience on day number 1 of the Carnival. Will be improved. Gate's a little bit tricky, informed rider, close up behind Wild Knight at Tarapa 3 starts. I think it's a little bit of each way.
I agree with you on Academy Award. Geez, that horse will be a big improver out of that Trentham run last week. But I've gone to the top of the book, gone with Bestseller, the horse with the Group 1 form line, and expecting the natural improvement to have her right in the mix.
It's going to be a super day of racing out of Trentham, with it being a Wellington Cup Day, and you can catch all the coverage on TAB Trackside 1. Time to go harness racing here on the Form now, and our opportunity to catch up with Craig the Whale Thompson.
Yeah, thanks, BP. Really looking forward to the weekend ahead. We've got some great racing. It probably starts tonight at Cambridge Raceway. Group 3 Waikato Breeder Stakes course last year taken out by Gold Chain. We've got a pretty good field. About 10 runners going round here tonight. Headed up by the Group 1 Jules winner in Double Delight. And gee, wasn't she good at Auckland last week? Now, she opened at $3. I thought she was the bet of the night tonight. She's a mare that went great at Auckland first up, got up the passing lane and beat a really nice field. She takes on Resolve at $5.50. Sacred Mountain, the local for Nikki Chilcott, $8.50. And, of course, the Grey Trotter. Everyone loves a Grey Trotter. Emma Frost placed in the race 2 years ago at $12. Key video to show, though, is last week at Auckland, where she took on the male trotters. That's her ducking to the inside here. Double Delight in the hands of Tony Hurley. This was first up. Now, you think, well, she only just got past handed over. I tell you, she ran home in 56 seconds for a trotter. Last quarter was 28 seconds. Beat some good ones here, and if anything, she's going to improve with the run. 2 from 2 at Cambridge, as I said, Group 1 winner of the Jules on the track. 40-metre handicap, but so the main rivals are off 40 as well, so I'm not worried about that. Sacred Mountain, Emma Frost off the 20-metre mark, and of course Resolve, the southerner, up here with the Dicky Barn. Now tomorrow on Friday evening is going to be one of the best of the night. It's the Mayor's Classic. Garrard's Mayor's Classic over the 1980. All-American Lover taking on, of course, Manhattan. Really looking forward to this. Preferential draw made them draw out wide here. $3.20 and $3 a piece. I'm very keen on Manhattan with their gate speed to go forward. You've got Life's a Beach won the second row at $10, and then Lady of the Light at 10, the Northerner. Better Tart in very good form at $10 as well. The key video to show, obviously, is the Queen of Hearts, because these two met last time. A little bit different this week, though, with the barrier draws. I think Manhattan can roll forward like she did in this race, the Group 1. That's All-American Lover about to get a run up the inside here. James Stormont's Black Cap 3 back on their fence and dashes through. Now, Manhattan won, obviously, the Northern Breeders a week earlier. Just gets caught here late in the Group 1 Queen of Hearts. She's back at Addington where she likes, and I think she can roll forward with her stablemate Kelly's Delight. For me, I thought she was one of the better bets on the night. I'm quite happy to take the $3.20, and I think she can win. All-American Lover should be better for the run. Of course, we've got the Group 1 in a couple of weeks. For me, Manhattan over All-American Lover. Kelly's Delight, maybe at $7, the best value in the race. Now, Saturday afternoon, Trackside 2 is going to be a cracking race. It is the Waireo Cup. We see McAndrew Aviator back after winning the Northern Southern Cup, and he takes on Sandwave, and Sandwave's a great little horse. He's not very big, but I tell you what, he's brave. Of course, placed in the Derby, Sandwave. The key video to show is the Northern Southern Cup, though. This is McAndrew Aviator. When he steps, gets into the zone, he got into the trail, and he came off the back of Matt Quillen, and he dashed away for Craig Ferguson and Kirsten Green. He was too good for them. One change running on. Pembroke Playboy right down the very outside. Now, it's not going to be easy from him. 2,400 metres off 35 metres. That's a long way back with Sandwave, so you're going to need the right price, but I do think on that run, he's the horse to beat. There's a couple of old war horses in the race like Taylor Told and Matt Quillen that'll roll in front, so that 35 metres, if they run 3 minutes off the front, is not going to be easy. But if I had to label one, McAndrew Aviator's in the zone, of course, when win a fantastic race in the Invercargill Cup. Really looking forward to a big 3 days of racing here on the form.
Two was for Fish, Maria Teresa and Mel Zadell. They're all chasing in vain. Rock On Jazz, after a very good debut second, he puts it all together again nicely.
Peritres in front at 100 metres for Maui Cat, then Dragon Queen, and then further back is Faithful Feet. She's too classy.
Testify Me on the outside, swept up, grabs the lead, put him away. Crackerjack from a long way back runs on with Ricorsi, but Testify Me.
But it's Maven Bell, Master Bridges coming out at oh, gee, that's close. Prowess in front, here comes Wild Night out after. Prowess holding, Wild Night can't get it, it is Prowess.
He's coming quickly now, Tiger Fire, moving up to Lovelock, they're clear of Jesse's Rocket, here's 3 in a row for Tiger Fire.
Thrilling Polly and Coolabah Kid in front, Rocket Red, Late Dave Portland, Timmy over the top.
And you're actually seeing somebody.
A few winners amongst them there, a second and a few unplaced as well. So we're looking to get back on track. And Leith, you found a winner last week. Now, your race tracker from last week is in on weekend. Is that your best bet?
It is my best bet, Kenny Rock. He's been my race tracker a few times actually.
Yeah.
He's been a bit unlucky on a few occasions, and look, he's going back to Trentham for a rating 65 2200 metre race. He's definitely not going to be paying 10s or 12s or 15s, but $3.80 and, you know, new jockey on Opie Possum gets on board.
Okay, yeah, I think you had to be pretty quick to be beating Leith into that one, and Sweens might be able to attest to that as well. I've gone to Riccarton on Saturday, gone to the feature there, the listed Timaru Stakes, and gone with Rock Sensation. Just boom time in the prep run. Horse who seems to be going very, very nicely, comes in at the right weights into the feature, and will be very hard to beat. Bevan?
Yeah, you would have thought seniority would have come to the fore, Aidan, with Kenny Rock, but we'll leave it all to Leith. I think it was $16 a lethal a couple of weeks ago. I think that was the price we were getting. Wow. I'm going to go with Piper's Flynn because we've had to pivot a little bit. In at Trentham, also at Taupo from memory. I thought it was soft with a good ride from Kate Hucock, set close to speed on this day and was soft to the line. I think it'll go close at either venue.
Yeah, I think Warren Kennedy's on at Topol, but yeah, we'll look out for either venue there. We'll give you the win, Bevan, if it wins at Topol as well. But I'm going to go to the first race, Trentham. Now, tarted up. Boy, this horse was very good behind Maven Bell. Ran the fastest last 200, in fact, and behind Maven Bell, not in the Al Mansour Trophy, but the Sunday prior to that, of course, on the 8th of January. Drawn barrier number 1 with the $1 Million Man and Craig Zaki aboard. Really like tarted up's chances in the first race on the weekend. Here's a wrap of the best bets, and Justin, he's gone to Hurricane Demi at the Greyhounds at Ascot Park on Friday. Well, he likes Tack McLeod, and as you heard from the team there, we've got the likes of Piper's Fling, Can He Rock, Rock Sensation, and I've gone with Tarted Up in the first race out of Trentham. A big thanks to Leith Innes, Aidan Rodley, and of course Bevan Sweeney. That's our show here on The Form, and a bumper day of Saturday racing coming up out of Trentham. Hope you can find a winner or two.